All right, so we're going to be starting with a new project, which is this dictionary web. And what is the project all about? The project is just a page where the user can search for the meaning. This application is not something that is that really useful to the because you can quickly put the stuff on Google and you get the definition. But we still have some site that you need to open them so that you can see the full definition of the stuff. For example, here now, I can go to Google and just type meaning of keyboard like this. And once you type it, it will bring out the stuff. As you can see, a keyboard is just whatever stuff. But this one is not compressive. It's not giving me this like the phonetic how you're going to pronounce the stuff and so forth like that. But if you scroll down, you're going to see some. Yeah, it's actually showing it. So and now if you click on it, it's going to pronounce the stuff out. And again, too, it's showing. Can you see it have the noun? Under the noun, it have the definition and it have the similar. This is the second definition. And under the verb, this is it here. So we want to do something like this. This is what we just want to do. We want to build something like this, but with this design here, where we have the box where the user can type the text that they want to look for the meaning. And then once you click on it and we have the details, then we are going to display it here. So if there is audio that the user can play from, so it is going to appear on this line. Then it's going to have the phonetics information and again to all the meaning based on their the part of the speech there. So for the noun, these are the meaning. For the verb, these are the meaning, and so forth like that, depending on the number of this you have there. And now under each one of them, as you can see, there is a synonym or antonym and all those things. So we need to display that. And again, to this thing is telling that is a link, which means if you click on it, it will now use this one as the search under this place there like that. So which means we need routing because we need to be able to route because in the URL, whatever you type here, you need to have access to it so that that link can be copied and pasted in another browser and you have the same information there like that. So we need our routing. Again, what we did last time, we're still going to be doing here, which we have the dark and the light mode there. So we need to do the project setup. But before we go into the project setup, so let's open the design in Figma so that we can see all the, because that's not the, this one is just preview. This one is just a preview of what is going on, but there's a lot of things that is going to go on this page. What if you don't have any data yet? So what are you going to show? Like user has not typed anything and you just get to that page. What are you going to show? What if they type something and we cannot find the information? What are you going to show and so forth like that? So and what are the design that we have, the design elements? So we need to see everything. And luckily for us, we have the Figma file for this application. So what we just need to do is to open the stuff and as you can see some of the material we want to use, they are there already. So but first, let's see the Figma design. From there, we just see what we need to do. So this is the Figma design, which is not that really big. So let me go back to the Figma and let us do the same thing that we did last time. So when you have the design, what do you need to do? You just import the stuff by dragging it to the file there. So go back to the files so that we can see the list of the files. And once this thing is done loading, the next thing we need to do is to just drag the file there. So it's going to create a copy in my account. So drag, and once you see it, it's going to import. And once it's done importing the stuff, we're going to open it and start working. But today we are just really going to focus on the setup, the asset and everything. Yeah, so it's done. Yeah, so done, and from there we can open the stuff because there's a lot of things going on with this design, and our design here needs to communicate with the API. So this is it. How many stuff do you have here? Can you see? This is what I'm saying here, because you need to know what you need to display when there is, as you can see, no definition found. Because if the user types something that we don't recognize, like after calling the API and we did not receive anything back, so we need to display this content that we don't know. But if they now put something there, then we should be able to do. And again, too, the application can change fonts. are there. So you can change the font and they can play audio and video, and this is what is going to display when you don't type something and you are trying to search. So you need to make sure that this thing works there like that. And when there is when this thing is successful, or when we have details just like what you stored on that image, this is what we are going to have there like that. So you have this. So what is the difference there? So let me see. Okay, I don't know the same thing. Why do we have them separated? Okay, now I know what is going on. This is when you select different fonts. So when you select the font for Sans from this list here, so when you select the font from Sans, this is how it is going to display. And when you select the font for Serif, as you can see that the text are quite different. The font is changing. And when you select the font for Mono, you can see he's using the Mono font. So which means this designer have three fonts that we need to use based on what you pick here. Is going to change the font family. We are going to use Tailwind 2 to do this setting. As you can see, the font family is this Inconsolata like that. And when you are using this, so what is going to be the font family for this one? The font family is Laura. So when you are using this serif, the font family, the font that you are going to be using there is Laura. And when the font is serif, so what is there? Okay, it is Enter. So we have three fonts, and we need to do all this setting in the Tailwind. So we have Enter, we have this Laura like that, and we have this one here, which is this encapsulator. So depending on what the font that the user pick in this place, and again too, you know about this dark mode already. So but the major thing here is that we need to be able to call our API, and the API will return the data for us, and from there we display it to the user on the screen. But yeah, there is something that needs to be there, that is not the loading states. So I did not see any information about the loading state. So this is the tablet, and this is the mobile version of the app, but I did not see any information about the loader. So we're going to create that one by ourselves, which is like the one we created last time. So we're going to create what, when you are communicating with API, it's not something that is going to come instantly. It's all going to depend on the network speed of the user and where the data is that we're getting from there. So it's something that can take time. So, and we need to talk to the user that something is actually going on there. So that's the only thing we're going to add that is not part of the list. So here for the project, these are the colors that needs to be set up, which I don't even need to be stressing myself to get them here, because the project we want to work on has already come with the basic code that we need. So if you open the project here, as you can see, it's supposed to have this stuff here. So open the starter code, and under the starter code we have this asset, and under the asset, as you can see, we have the font, which is the font that we need to know. We have the Laura, Enter, and this in Consolator there. So we need to be able to load all these fonts. So I'm going to move them out because I don't want them to be like this. So we're going to go into the projects that we have there. So under the public, I'm going to create a folder here for fonts, and where are we going to get the font from? So I'm just going to drag all these variables. So drag this one here, because I don't need the other one. So I don't need the static. So there's no need of me. That's the only one I need. So for the Enter too, I just need to take this variable like this. And lastly, for the Laura, so we have the Laura. So okay, this one is more of two Laura weights. This one I have two italics, and but I don't think I need italics. Let me take one from this two, because the size will be really too much. So let me take this one too. So we already have all these fonts, so we just need to include them the way we did last time there. So apart from fonts, the other assets that we need here, the icons. So all our icons are inside these images. So we have the arrow, the moon, the new window, the icon play, and this thing is not completed. The design is not complete because it's supposed to actually give us the icon for pause. Now, when you are playing the stuff, it's supposed to show another icon, but we are just going to go with it like that. So they give us the logo too. So let's just move everything inside our public there. like that. So the other thing we need to do now is to connect these fonts into Tailwind. So how do we connect the fonts to Tailwind? So the first thing we need to do is to set up Tailwind. I've already installed the Tailwind. So the next thing I just need to do is to set up Tailwind. So how do we set up the Tailwind? By going back to their dock. So I've already done these 4 steps. So the second step is what we need to do, just to generate the file that we need. So it's going to create the Tailwind config here, and that config is where we are going to talk to Tailwind that anytime we mention so stuff like this is the stuff we want you to use like that. For example, here, what do you want to do? So under the Tailwind config, we don't want the team to be using the system. We want to be able to toggle based on class that we did last time. So we can specify the team there like that, which is going to be mode rather what's run. It's still loading, and once it's done loading, so the mode, it can be class or it can be this in there like that. For now, it's loading, and while it's loading, so let me go and copy this other stuff that we need, which is going to be this particular side, because we need to update it. If not, Tailwind will not know where your CSS or where Tailwind is being used in your project. So this one is going to talk to Tailwind that we can use it inside index.html, and we can use it from any of these files that is coming from the source there like that. So which other thing we need to do? So we need to copy all these CSS files, all this declaration here, and we put into our index.css and paste everything there. So open the source, index.css, remove everything that is there, and this one too, we don't need it, so delete it, and it's going to, because we want to be using Tailwind, so we don't need them like that. So inside this app.jsx2, I will remove everything that we have there because we don't need them, and just return h1 for now. But we're going to come back into this one later. So h1, why is this going down? So welcome to welcome to dictionary app like this. So this one is going to be the h1. So save. So this side too, we can save it. Tailwind config for now. What's wrong with you? Load. It's not bringing what I want. Yeah, so this is what I'm actually for like this. This is going to be complete it. Yeah, so it's going to be class like that. So save like this, and once that one is saved, so which other setting do we need to do there? I think that's all for now from the Tailwind, except the this thing that we want to set up, our font. So the font is having sans serif, the serif, and the mono. So we need to create all these fonts in our system. So where are we going to? No, we've already have the font, so we need to load it. So in order for us to load the font, we need to define our font space rules there like that. And inside this font space, you need to specify the family that you want to use. So what's the name of the family? The first one, we're going to be using the same name. So the first one is going to be this Anchor Solata like this. So anytime we mention in Consolata, where do we want to get the stuff? So it's going to be coming from here. And where is it coming from? It's coming from fonts and this same encode. Let me copy the name so that I don't make mistake with it. Copy and paste like this. So anytime we're using this fonts family, this is where it is going to get the stuff. Again, too, you can do it for the other two. So anytime we mention inter like this, then it's going to load this file. So let's copy this one too and paste it in this URL. And for the last one, anytime we mention Laura, this is where it is going to get the font from. So copy the stuff and paste it. But now we need to connect this our font to Tailwind. So we need to connect this thing to no, it did not replace it. We need to connect it to Tailwind. So how do we connect it to Tailwind? So inside the Tailwind tool, we need to define the fonts that we want to use there. So under your extend, we can add font family. And this font family too is just going to be whatever the object. So we want to have LoRa. Anytime we say font LoRa, this is what we want to do in Tailwind. So here is going to be LoRa and this serif. So for the other one, we have this in kind of in later like this. So anytime we mention it, it's just going to load this our inconsonata for us like that. And for the other one, we have the inter now. So the enter we mention inter, then this one too is going to load, complete it. So it is going to load. And as you can see, it's specifying their family. So this inconsolata is coming from this monospace family. This LoRa is coming from the serif family. And don't forget that's the name that is there. As you can see, for the serif, it is using this particular one, which is this where you can see it's using LoRa. So for this one, you can see it is this inconsolator, it is monospace. So it's coming from mono and so forth. But this is the name we are going to use in the drop down, but they are going to be giving us this in there. So save the stuff. Now we have access to it in our Tailwind application. So how do we test it? So in order for us to see that this thing is working, what we can just do here, and I think it's using serif by default. So when you go to the app, so let me see what is using by default. Yeah, it is using sans serif by default. So let's just go to the Tailwind there. So where do we want to update the setting? So here, this is what I will just do. All right, so this is what we just do. So at layer, then the base like this. So the body is where we're going to apply this stuff. So by default, the body is going to use, so by default, the body is going to use fonts. What do we call it? We call it inter. As you can see now, we have access to them, and it's going to put all of them. So that's why we are connecting it to Tailwind, so that we don't need to start. So by default, it's going to use font inter, but anytime the body that is having class, what is that, mono. So if there is having class mono, then it's going to be using that font in Solata like this. So anytime it have the other one, so the body, anytime it have class, so which other class do we want to add to it? So how many we have sans serif, which is the default one. We have mono, and what is the last one? No, the two of them can be sans serif. One have to be serif. This is a mistake. So the two of them can be no, I think this is error. So where's the it have to be three. What's going on? Okay, mono, yeah, so serif. So anytime there is a serif, anytime there is a class serif, so we want to apply the font, what is that, said LoRa, like this. I think that one is coming from, yeah, so it's coming from serif. So when we're using mono, then it's going to use this, but by default, when you don't specify anything, it's going to use inter, but you can actually change it to any one of them you want. So we've set up, the only thing we just need to be doing is to be adding all these classes based on what the user picked from the drop down. So if they pick sans serif there, or let's just add this one too. So serif like this. No, sans. So anytime there is sans serif on the stuff, it's going to use this one. Or I don't even need to add it. Since it's the first thing that we want to see like that. So in our app, we've set it up. So let me just npm run, or before I run the stuff, I said we want to deal with routing, because now if you click on this stuff, it should change the URL and update this our selection here. So we need the routing. So npm I create router, then dump like this. And once it's done loading the stuff, then it's going to give us content. And as you can see, it means in the URL, we are going to have like a dynamic part there. So we're going to have our app, like localhost 5173. Then after it here, whatever you search is going to, if you don't search anything, when it's like this, the box is going to be empty. But if you have something here, maybe like hello, so whatever text that is here is the search that the user is performing there like that. And if you want to do it like Google, so this is what Google is doing on their own side. they are using this queue, and whatever that follows the queue is the search. So you can either use the query params or the path params. It all depends on which one you want to use. And I think, let me see, which is something you are seeing on the site that we just used now. So if you go back to this site where we search for, can you see that after the search, there is this, can you see that it's queue? So queue, we now have whatever you type inside their box. So everything you type inside the box will be on the queue. So, but they have the page for search. This site now have a lot of things. So as we want to use that queue without, taking from one page to another one, might not even need to install this thing itself. But I think I will go with the path param. So it's always going to be, instead of queue like that, it's going to be search, then whatever the text that you type. I think that one should. But a problem there is that what if there is a space there? But we can still encode it and make sure that it is something that can be part of the URL like that. So yeah, so that's going to be the stuff. Now that our routing is done, so what we can do here is to start the application. So npm run dev like this, and let us see whether everything is set up correctly or not from Tailwind to, yeah. So now it's done. We can go to the page, and again, let's change the title first, because I don't like the title that you normally use, that bit plus real. So this one should be the name of our application. So dictionary web app like this. So save the code and go back to the page, and let's load the stuff. So localhost 5573. As you can see, the title has changed like that. Not the, I can see now the Tailwind 2 has been set up, because you can see that there is nothing like all those space that used to be on the page. And let me see the font is using. So let's see whether it's using our font. So let's see whether it's using our font. Yeah, so on the body, if you check the text, so go there, inspect. To the inspect, as you can see that it's, can you see that it's using enter. But now let's add to the body. So let us update, because you can update this thing. So here I just want to add the class, and the name of the class is going to be mono like this. Does it change the stuff? What's going on? Updates. So does it change? It did not change. Is that not what I asked you to do? So let me check. So where's the H1 now? The H1 is supposed to change, but now it's not changing. So which means it's not applying the stuff. It's not seeing it at all. So let me see, where is it? Yeah, body font family is this. Like that. So let me go back to that place and check it again. So let me update it here. So class is going to be mono, because we need to see that this thing is actually working correctly. If not, when we started applying JavaScript, it will not do anything. So in our CSS, what are we doing? Yeah, so the body, when it have mono, when it have serif, we want to apply all these stuff like that. So anytime we have this body with class mono, so why are we not having it? It did not update my body. Body is supposed to have mono. What's going on? I've already applied the mono. Reload the page. Okay, now it's, yeah, as you can see that it's changed. So that's what I was expecting. So once there is a class mono there, as you can see, it will start using, and the same thing too when we change the stuff. So it will update everything, but it's not going to be set like this. We are going to be changing it from the JavaScript code based on the drop down that the user picked there like that. So again, the next thing we need to set up now is going to be, we need components like this. So we need page, but it's just only one page that we're going to have the application. So we have pages, but it's just one page that we have. So we really have the home page like this, or the JSS. So it's only one page that we have. So REAFCE like this, the home page, But this home page is going to be connecting to different components like that. So this our home page. We're going to use it here, and we need to set up our routing. So const router here is going to be create browser router. It's always the same thing that you are used to already. So here we need a path. So for the slash like this, we are going to go to the home page. So the element is going to be home page like this. So like that. So import it. So again, too, you can use the same component for another page if you want. Doesn't need to be. So here, anytime you go to slash this here, so the search, so uh, the search time. The search time here is dynamic because that you see that we are using column there. So anytime we go to any of this stuff like that, it's going to let me put the slash there so that you know that. So anytime we go to any dynamic stuff here too, we still want to render home page there. So which is still going to be this element, which means the page is responsible now for checking whether this thing is there or is not there. So in our app, instead of having it like this, so cut it out, then we can have our router provider. Then from there, you supply the router, which is what we set up at the top there. And that's all for this file for now. So that's all for this file for now. We might need to set up this later on some of the stuff, but this is what we need for now. And inside this home page, instead of this, I'm going to have H1, then save it and go back to that place. And once you load it, we should see our H1 again, because when you go to the home page, is this thing you see. And at the same time too, if you have maybe like we have hello like this, and if you save it, as you can see, it will still show home page. But this one now is what we call the search time. So whatever you search, but how do we have access to that information? We talked about how you can have access to it. Like last time we used to use params. Any dynamic parts that you specify, it's going to come inside this. So comes here like that. So params like this, which is going to be this. And from there, we can just console log it out, which is going to hold every parameter that we have in our application. Now, if you go to the log, you see that we now have the search time. But if you don't have it, you don't put it, you see that it will be empty. So it's going to be empty there. What was this warning? Flag where router will begin wrapping state updating where start transition in this event and use. You don't need all this warning they're like that. So as you can see, it is empty. So if there's no search time, we will not fill anything, but if there is search time, we fill it in the box there like that. So but right now, this is not how we are going to use it, because we are going to have separate components, and it's the component that will load what they need there. So what are the components do we need in our application? So if you look at it here, tomorrow, what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be creating all our components that we need here. So we need the component for logo, we need the component for this toggler, or we again too, we need the component for this font speaker. Then everything will now be used inside header. So let me be creating all those the component we need. So under our component, we need the header like that. So we need the, let's just say, the site header like this. We need the site header dot JSX like this. So RAFCE like this. So apart from the site header, what else do we need? We need a new file. So what else do we need? We need the logo. So that's JSX like this. So RAFCE. Then the other thing that we need here is going to be, we need the language, the font picker. So we need the font picker. So .jsx like this, RAFCE. Which other thing we need? We need our dark mode toggler. So we need the dark mode toggler like this. That's JSX, RAFCE like this. Fast. So we are done. Those are the components we need for this header section. There like that. So we need the search. As you can see, there is area for the search, and again you now have the area for display. And again, too, don't forget we have the component for this when there is no information display. Again, too, maybe you can use something like this when you go to a page that we don't want, like a 404 page. We can use something like this here by displaying. So this one too is going to be a component on its own, entire box there. So this one I'm going to call it not found. So not found dot gsx. So it's contain that emoji, the title and the text that is it, and we can reuse it. I think we're going to have other page here too, the 404 page. Anytime you go to a page that we don't know about, so we're going to display a 404 page. So yeah, and that's what we are going to do first. So I'm going to have this 404 so let me just call it page 404 like this dot jsx. So rafce in this way, and save like that. And inside it, we are going to use that component, which is going to be not found. So it's going to use not found. Apart from not found, it needs to have a link that you click to go back to the home page. So here it's going to have this, and after this it's going to have the link like that, and it's going to be go back home like that. And where is it going back to? So it's going back to the slash like this. So this is what we are going to display for any other page that you visit that we don't know about. So let me quickly add it to the list. So let's add it to the list. So save all this one that is showing save because of all this save. Let me remove all these unnecessary imports. Save, not found, remove this, save. I think that's all. Then inside our app, so anytime you go to any other pages that we don't know about, so parts, so asterisk like this, what do we want to show? So elements, so we want to show the page 404 like this. So saved, and go back to the screen, check it out. So click on it, and from here just type any other thing that we don't know about here, and it's going to show but we need to design it better. We are going to start with the design tomorrow there. So what's happening with this one? Okay, I have this import too here, so save this one too. And for now we need to change. So look at this icon that we have here, this icon that is showing here. You see that every other site have their own icon. For our own, we are still using the bit icon, so we need to change that icon. It has been given to us already. It's part of the stuff that I copy under this public. So close the font. Under the images, you can see there is this wave icon, which you can use your own. Let me delete this bit logo. This is what is using currently, but let me delete it and replace it with our own. Delete. Then where are we going to change it? It's coming from here, and you see this is it here. So this is where the icon is coming from. So what we just need to do is to pass the one we want to use, which is coming from images. Under the images, then we have this fave icon. So it's known as this fave icon 32x32 then .png like this. So save and go back to our page. The icon should change once it's done loading, as you can see now. So now we have our icon, which you can use your company or any icon of the. So but this is what we are going to use for it instead of using the bits logo there like that. So we've set up the projects. The next thing we need to do now is to start putting them together. We are not done because I see some components that needs to be set up there like that.